Hello, I'm Brad Exum with Fast Fuel Systems, and today I'm here talking to you about the quality of the Signature Series system that you all have been hearing about. Now, what's great is that a lot of people know us for being on pickup trucks. Most of our motors outlast a pickup truck, okay? That's why we put a lifetime warranty on it. The old Titanium Legacy Series, as people are calling it, that was a solid 700,000 mile motor, some of them going into the 1,000,000 mile range. Well, that wasn't good enough because we don't build it for these first. I'll show you what we build it for. Okay, we build it for these. Our customers average between 125,000 miles a year and 150,000 miles a year, give or take some. We have some customers that run teams and they're running 250,000 miles a year. So we're giving these a 5-year warranty with 1,000,000 miles on that, okay? We know that it's gonna go over 1,000,000 miles. We've made so many changes, but we've taken and we've built it for this. Heavy duty, okay? Hours upon hours upon hours. And then we take those units and we make it work on here. Now, we didn't need them quiet on the semis, okay, because they're so noisy anyways. But we made it quiet for the pickup trucks. So we took the quality and longevity, combined it with the Whisper technology, and we put it on here. Now, with that being said, we've done a lot of other development in those 3 years that I've told you about, that we've been developing the Signature Series. We just didn't come out with something new and just let it go. We tested it extremely through hot weather, cold weather, things like that, and long durations. We have a Connex box that I've told you about. You can go to that on fastride.com. Look at how we tested 60 of them just day in and day out and just let them run, okay? And we have some of those still running. We've taken them apart and diagnosed some things because we're not finished improving things. So we take them apart and see what's gonna go because we want more out of that. We wanna always give you more than what we tell you we're gonna give you. So we're already working on the next improvement of the Signature Series, and that'll be flown in, but that's how we've always done it, is just move it in and just keep making it better. All right, but let's get ready. I'm gonna show you what the differences are between us and our closest competitor. And this stuff you can take to the bank because I'm gonna show you hard facts, and I'm gonna show you the materials all involved, and we'll go from there. Before we dig into the product themselves, I wanna go over a few things that you may not know. Our customer service, we've really improved that over the last few years, and we've been doing a lot more studying, a lot more training, a lot more meetings. We've overstaffed our department, so most of the time when someone calls, they don't get a voicemail, okay? And I did that on purpose. I believe it's worth paying extra for the manpower and not having them busy all the time, so there's more of a chance that when you call, you get a live person. With that being said, in the training that we're doing, we're open from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. That's Central Standard Time. Our competition is only open from 7 in the morning to 4 at night. So we cover from East Coast to West Coast, 8 to 5. All right, we're open 7 to 7 Central Standard Time. With that being said, we're going to dig into these in just a minute, but I want you to know that I'm not sitting here bad-mouthing my competition. I'm going to let you weigh the differences on what I'm going to show you, because people call us all the time. Okay, what's the difference? They come up to us at shows, what's the difference? Because one motor, our motors are laying there, we have filters on them. There's a huge difference in quality, and especially when the Signature Series took over, there's not even a comparison now. First, I want to start off on filter availability. I have some samples of our filters back here. Okay, and I took them out of the cans. You can go to our website. If you need a filter, you don't have to call us. You can go to our website and you can find at least 25 different cross-references that if you go and look up those numbers, probably give you another 25 different cross-references, okay? So we don't make you call us, and we publish them, so that way you're not out in Wyoming, and you need a filter. Well, with us, you can go in Wyoming, be out there at Little America, and they carry FS1000s that'll fit on both places of the titanium, the old titanium and the new titanium. Fits on both spots for water separation and on the filter side, okay? You can go into a Napa and O'Reilly and get cross-references without even having to call us, okay? Now, we've really specialized our filters to fit with our Signature Series, our Legacy Series, the titaniums. Okay, and we've really fine-tuned these filters to cut down on noise, cavitation, and separate dirt down to 2 micron absolute. And this has extreme water separation capability in it, which we were finding that we have not found anyone that separates water like we do. We'll put it like that, okay? So let's compare filter size to filter size, okay? First of all, This is our competitor's water separator. This is our strainer. It's just a particulate filter. This is their filter, okay? Now look at the diameter. If I hold it up, substantially bigger, okay? This is a cellulose element. This is a stainless steel serviceable wire mesh screen. And it's just to take out the bigger particulates of dirt. But look at the size of this. Size does matter on filters. Huge difference. Now we changed our technology. We used to take water out on the suction side, but we're finding out how very few people are taking out enough water to make a difference. So we put the water separation, the extreme water separation, in our fuel filter. Take a look at this. Theirs is a hair bit taller. Look at the diameter. And then we have one key element after that. Look at that diameter. Here's what's key though. This is a cellulose element. This is a microglass element, much more expensive. This element flows 400% more efficient than a cellulose element. So if they wanted to have the service life that we have, the efficiency that we have, the filtration that we have, they need to chunk this. And if you're going to use cellulose, you need to make this about 4 times bigger. We take out 99.96% of the water, which lowers us down to about 84 parts per million. They say 200 parts per million is what passes the SAE J1488 test. We're cutting that in half, more than half. We're down to 84 parts per million. They're wanting 200 parts per million to pass that test. This one comes in at 396. You can see the samples when you send them off. One's clear diesel fuel, one's cloudy diesel fuel. Which one of those samples of fuel do you want sitting in your injection system? Now we're going to get into opening up the boxes. I'm going to put these to the side. And we're comparing two units that are actually labeled as a 165. Now, ours is actually gallon per hour at the pressure of the vehicle that it's going on with diesel fuel. Some units they're not out there. I'm not going to get into that, but they don't pump it, okay? Now, you have your product registration right on the top, and I'm just going to go back to these. This is a solid 1 million mile motor, period, okay? Now, the lifetime warranty, people can keep sending it in, breaking down and sending it in. But you know what? We built it to last a solid million miles, okay, on that one motor. All right, we've improved that up from 700,000 miles on the old Titanium Legacy series to a solid million miles on the new Signature series, okay? Now, what's helped us get to that point, and you know what? I'm not afraid to let this out of the bag as I'm opening the bag. But what's gotten us to that point is right here, some small details. We like to say the devil's in the details, okay? Look at this right here. This is a WeatherPack connector versus a Deutsch connector that we used to use. Look at the blades on this right here. If you come up here and you see all the contact surface as versus a pin style, there's a lot more contact surface, so there's a lot less resistance. It took us 2 years of testing different connectors to make sure that we could get it consistent, because you know what, at times Deutsch connector works just fine, but it's not consistently good. We found that out in our Connex box where we had 60 of them going down at one time, and we could feel the heat difference, and so we started nailing it down. Now here's a big one right here. Peel this back. I'm going to pop this line out right here. Look at the gauge difference right here. This is like comparing a little 1.8 liter Civic engine to a 6.7 Cummins or something, a diesel. Look at that, 14 gauge right there, 10 gauge. You can actually feel the weight difference of this over this. 10 gauge versus 14. Again, less resistance. And you know what? The reason I don't mind telling you this is expensive. The copper is not cheap, and this is expensive. Now, I'm going to set these out here. While I'm opening this, I want to talk about our Whisper technology. Now, I had one of their pumps come in once and it was extremely quiet. It made me nervous. I was like, what are they doing? Well, so I flowed at 165. It's actually flowing 72 gallons an hour. So I took mine and I slowed it down to 72 gallons an hour because I had a meter on it, a power supply that I could slow it down, and I slowed the amps, the voltage down and slowed it down to the same pump. And then we was also extremely quiet. The trick was with the Signature Series is improving the flow rate and bringing the noise level down, bringing that pressure up if we needed that pressure, keeping that noise level down, and we succeeded. 3 years of testing and trial and error, we did it. Okay. But here are the units side by side, right here. Okay? Now I'm going to step back just for a second here, and with this WeatherPack connector and lowering the resistance and everything, our failure rate is well under 1.5%. We're striving for 0, but I don't think we'll ever see that. But that's what we're striving for, and we're putting the R&D into it, the research and development into it, to keep lowering it. But that's what we have. Now, looking at them side by side, you can see that ours is larger. One of the reasons is right here. This is a fuel manifold. What happens here is I'm going to grab this piece over here. And as we take fuel out, the air out, separate the dirt out here, we have virtually pure fuel going up through this draw tube. Okay? It goes up through here through a 5/8 ball cut. Now, I'll tell you a little bit of the history on the 5/8 ball cut. I was working on the suction side on our bulkhead fitting. I put a 1/2-inch straight cut into it. It's cavitating about 2 to 3 decibels of noise. I said, okay, let's put a 1/2-inch ball cut. So we had put a ball cut. It's more like a radius cut, okay? Like a mandrel bend exhaust. We put that in there. Still 2 to 3 decibels of cavitation noise. So we went to a 5/8 ball cut, a straight cut. Still 2 to 3 inches of cavitation noise, decibels. It wasn't until we went to the 5/8 ball cut that we got rid of that noise. So with that being said, okay, we're thinking, the other areas that we have cuts. So we opened this up to a 5/8 ball cut. We learned from that. We overkill here at FASS. We have a 5/8. We have ball cuts down here. This is 1/2-inch plumbing. The AirDog, our closest competitor, uses 3/8-inch plumbing. Now here's a rule of thumb. Now we're not double the size. We're 1/2-inch. They're 3/8. Every time you double your orifice, you quadruple the flow. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's one of the reasons we're using 5/8. But take a look at this right here. We have a 5/8 ball cut. It's right here going to the engine. To save costs, and here's another reason. When I used to own Fuel Preparator, I used to have that same block in there. But taking this block off, reduced their height, which was good. But it took out about $30 retail cost, 30 to 40. The virtually pure fuel goes up through here, goes in, and if you come up in here and you can look in here, it runs into the floor. It deadheads into the floor. Then if you look over here, it goes up and then it goes down into here, this 90 degree, and then out. So basically it's going up and T-boning into here, causing hydraulic eddy currents. That slows your flow rate down, actually puts entrained air back in, not as much as they're taking out, puts entrained air back in, slows the flow rate down, creates noise. Remember that 2 to 3 decibels I was talking about before? I haven't tested theirs, but that's what we learned on ours. Then it goes over to a 90, same thing over here, duplicated, and then it goes out. We're here to take the eddy currents, hard bends out, hard corners, and all that. And we do that here, we do that here. Okay? We even do it on the inlet coming in. As the fuel comes in, we angle the floor down. This is something you never see unless you cut it apart. And while I'm here, we've specialized on porting, and then what helped us out is our units cut out of Lexan. We can see in here. But we ported these kidneys to match with the gear, kind of like porting ahead. It improved our dry suction capability and the flow rate and brought the noise down along with this bushing down here. Took away the play of the free end right here. Okay? These are the little things that you would never see. Now, another thing. They've gone back to steel brackets. They got away from the plastic ones, but when you do steel like this, they will warp on a frame. What we use our steel brackets, but they hang from the bed bolt. Okay? Tucks up away nicely and everything. So it's a nice mounting bracket. While we're here, we have the mass flow return right here, which sits there and continually polishes fuel from the tank over and over. What's great about this is this will polish your fuel tank at the rating of the pump and what the engine doesn't need. It'll sit there and continually polish it. Now what does that mean? That we're getting more water and more dirt out with every pass. There's no one filter that gets all the water and all the dirt out on one pass. We went over how these take out 99.96% of the water. They do 85%. Okay? We went over what's acceptable by SAE and what is not. We saw how we cut those what's acceptable by half of what's acceptable. All right. With that being said, we can put electric heater in here, here, and here. We can put another disc heater right here that we have coming out this summer for this next winter, and we have coolant heat back here. What does that mean? I've ran personally down to 40 below with no additives, straight number 2 fuel. Now, I did some testing with gauges and everything. Went up to Thompson, Manitoba in Canada. That's the last town you can drive to. In Colombia on pavement. I went down up there and it was minus 30 degrees. And you can watch that video at fastride.com. It means that we're going to have you operating better than anyone else in our market, period. In a diesel market, period. Okay? Now, what also is great about this, we have over 99% of our product is made here in America, designed here in America, and we're keeping the business here in America. We found out that if we moved our motors overseas and just our brackets overseas, now we'd put well over $400,000 to the bottom line. We're not going to do that. We're here to support America first. We have never switched hands here at FAST. I started the company back in 2003, and we've never switched hands. I used to be part of this. This is where I am now. Since 2003, we've never switched hands. This product has switched hands 11 times on the pickup side and 12 times on the semi side. Okay? We've never turned someone's warranty down because they called us up and we said, nope, we didn't build that. There's new owners involved. Which that does happen to people. It happens in all kinds of markets. I enjoy what I do. If you knew me, you knew how much I was into diesels, and this is what we enjoy doing. So I want to say thank you very much for your support. Please look the information over. You know, if you need to look at the competitors, this is a very fair comparison, side by side. That's what you get when you come to FAST. And when you come here, when you're in that 195, 165 range, these are relatively close in price. But if they step up and they start doing the things to make their motors last as long and be quiet, they're going to skyrocket their prices. That's why I was not afraid to show the differences today. I want to say have a blessed day and thank you.